Hello everyone, this is Vortex. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I. In our last episode, we triumphed over the maniacal, sword-wielding, Lamia-like Fiend of Fire known by name as Merilith. Following Merilith's fall, the Fire Crystal was restored to its former glory, so now 2 of the 4 crystals have received back their light. Still though, 2 more crystals remain, the Water and Wind crystals, and it's up to the Light Warriors to do their heroic duty and replenish those crystals too. Unfortunately though, just about all places explorable by foot and ship have been nearly exhausted, so reaching those next 2 crystals will be problematic. We do know that there are still unexplored lands in the north, but access to those areas by port is extremely limited. So what we need to do is find a new means of transportation, and that's going to be our next task here in Final Fantasy I. First things first though, let's go ahead and re-enter Crescent Lake. I've fought my way back down to Crescent Lake from Mount Gold Volcano. Now, I imagine that you, like me, have probably amassed a fortune in gil during the recent trip to Mount Gold, and it's now time to spend that moolah on some brand new magic spells. So let's go back up to the magic shops here and be prepared to blow all that gil on some good level 6 magic spells. Now the last time I visited these magic shops, neither Lena nor Vivi were high enough in level to use level 6 magic, but that's no longer the case. You can see level 6 magic is now lit. I actually leveled up to level 30 on the return trip to Crescent Lake. So let's go ahead and purchase some new white magic for Lena. And alright, we're finally going to get to purchase the Stona spell for Lena. Stona will cure the stone status ailment, and that could come in very handy in the next place we're going to be going. So I'm definitely going to drop 13,000 gil on that spell. Now, Lena hasn't met the requirements to become a white wizard yet, so she cannot purchase the exit spell. However, let's go ahead and purchase the Protira and Invisora spells for Lena in the time being. So there you go, Lena, some new white magic for you to use, and it is now available in the list. Alright, likewise, let's do the same for Vivi. Let's go next door to the black magic shop, and I'm definitely going to get the Thundaga spell for Vivi there. Some high level thunder magic. Let's see, I guess I'll go ahead and get Death and Quake for Vivi there too. Quake could be fairly fun to use in battle. So there you go, Vivi, some new level 6 black magic for you there, buddy. So only level 7 and level 8 magic remain for both of our mages there. Very nice. Alright, well now that we've taken care of that, it's time to figure out where we need to go next. Now you remember that lady walking around down there? She has a no good husband because he's always sleeping. Last time we were here, he was up sleeping by the graveyard. Well, let's go up here and see if he's woken up yet. Well, looks like he's stirring there. Must be nice to laze around all day. Yep, he's actually awake now, and he tells the Light Warriors, "I've been after the Levistone for 10 years. The cave to the north looks promising, but I can't go. I'd never hear the end of it from my wife." Yeah, you're probably never going to hear the end of you sleeping all the time from her either. Well, we've actually heard of the Levistone before. You might remember when we visited the dwarves in Mount Durgar, one of the dwarves mentioned that the Levistone is an amazing material that actually floats in the air. And also, if you go back to the village of Elfheim, one of those mysterious elven sages in town has decided to loosen his tongue, and he's actually having a vision. He says, "In the dark abyss above the crescent, to the north, beyond the smoldering mountain, the Levistone sleeps. Something awaits you there." So, it sounds like this Levistone item is pretty important, and it's actually going to be our next run and fetch item quest. Now, in order to get it, it sounds like we need to sail northward beyond Mount Gold to find a dark abyss, and perhaps that's the cave that our narcoleptic friend here is referring to. So that's going to be our next destination, and I hope that you'll take the time to stock up on potions, high potions and ethers and so forth, because there's going to be lots of tough monsters there. And I'd also highly recommend taking along a healthy supply of gold needles and phoenix downs along with you if you don't have the stona and life spells. Now, you can purchase phoenix downs in the item shop here in Crescent Lake, but in order to get the gold needles, you can actually sail back to Elfheim and purchase those for 500 gil a piece in the item shop there, I believe. But since I have stona, I'm actually just going to replenish my stock of potions, high potions and ethers. So what I'm going to do is go back into the item shop there and fork over the gil for those items. I'm also going to sell off some of my old stuff as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and once I get all of that done, I'll meet you back on the overworld. And hello again, everyone. Just got back from making my item purchases there. I went ahead and maxed out my potion count again. I also bought several high potions and ethers, and also a couple of phoenix downs for good measure there too. So I think I'm ready to head off to this dark abyss that supposedly lies to the north of Mount Gold Volcano. We're going in search of some levistones. So let's go ahead and pull up our map here. From Crescent Lake, what we want to do is actually cross back to the east from Crescent Lake and hike back up to our ship, which is still docked in the port here, and we're going to board the ship and sail to the north through a little inlet here. And once we get through that inlet, we'll see another port there, but what we'll actually want to do is look for another river channel which starts to the west, and we're going to plop our canoe in that river channel and make our way through another maze of rivers, and we'll eventually get to another plains area, and from there we'll hike up to the north and we should find our cavern right about there. Does it sound confusing? Well, don't worry, just follow me and hopefully we'll find it with very few problems. So let's go ahead and cross Crescent Lake here and make our way through the forest and make our way back up to the ship. And there it is, still anchored at the port. It's been a while since we've been on our ship. It's been sitting there ever since we first arrived at Crescent Lake. So let's go ahead and board the ship and start sailing to the north. Go find this inlet up here. And here it is right here. So we'll just sail through the inlet. There's the port. So let's turn to the west to find the river channel. And we'll enter the river channel with our trusty rusty canoe, and we'll see if we can make our way through this maze of a river here. There's going to be some dead ends we'll have to watch out for. Well, a crocodile and an Ochu thought they'd try to team up against the light warriors, but it was to no avail. We easily defeated them. And I tried out Vivi's new Thundaga spell against those two white crocs. It was very effective, but that Thundaga spell is pretty expensive to use MP wise. It costs 35 MP. Alright, let's sail to the west from here. Keep hoping I'll run into that Neochu. It's the only river monster I haven't faced yet, but if I don't, we'll find it a little bit later on. Okay, I think we're nearly there, my friends. Let's turn west here and then down to the south. And then west again, and see that cave right there? That's where we want to go. We're nearly there. So let's disembark our canoe and hike up to the north. And before we enter this cave, I'm going to take just a moment to use one of the several tents in my inventory to replenish everyone's HP and MP, and once I take care of that, we'll go inside the cave. Okay, there we go. All four of my characters are back to full health. So I think I'm ready to take on this cave. So let's head on inside. Welcome, my friends, to the Cavern of Ice. a bone-chilling cave filled with peril at just about every turn. Yeah, this cavern houses some pretty dangerous monsters. You remember the cockatrice birds from back in the Earth Cavern? Well, those little boogers fly around here in the Cavern of Ice as well. And they're exactly the reason why I recommended bringing along some extra gold needles with you. There's also monsters in here that can even instantly KO your characters. So, yeah, this place could potentially bring the Light Warrior's demise. I've actually been wiped out in this place before. It's probably one of the most deadly places we've been to so far. So we're just going to have to exercise extreme caution in here. So let's go ahead and get started here. From this starting staircase, what we want to do is head off to the east. This first basement level isn't too terribly complicated. Just going to have to go down a long corridor here. Oh, okay, well, we're going to start off by fighting a new monster here. We're going to start off by fighting the Spectre. Spectres have 114 HP. I believe they can paralyze you with their physical attacks. And it's probably a good opportunity for Lena to warm up her Diara spell. She hasn't had a chance to use that in a while. Of course, BB's Spirit spell is also very effective against them as well, so we'll just use both of those. Well, actually, they're not going to get a chance to fire off their spells there because Cloud and Locke take care of those monsters with their swords. So let's go ahead and check out that new entry in the bestiary real quick. And we'll scroll down to number 72 to find the entry for the Spectre. Alright, let's keep heading down this long corridor here. We'll eventually turn south. Well, once again, Cloud demonstrates what I was talking about earlier. That was a battle with 5 cockatrice birds alongside with 4 of those mummies, and that's actually a pretty deadly combination because the mummies can put you to sleep, and if they put your characters to sleep, they can't fight back against them or the cockatrice birds. And one of the cockatrice birds actually petrified Cloud there, so Lena's going to get a chance to use her new Stona spell to unpetrify him there, and there we go. So Cloud has been the first casualty in here so far. Hopefully that's the last trouble I will have in here, but something tells me I'm going to have more trouble to contend with before too long. Pisco demons also skulk around on this first basement floor. They can appear in packs of 6 or 7, and they're not quite as tough as they were back when I fought them in the Marsh Cave, but if you get a whole bunch of them, get an ambush on your party, and start all ganging up on one character, they can do a lot of damage. Well, I bet the floors are pretty slippery here in the Ice Cavern. I'll bet the Light Warriors wish they brought their ice skates along with them. And here we are. We're already to the staircase, which will take us down to the second basement level of the Cavern of Ice. Now we've got a path to pick here. We can either go to the west or to the south. Doesn't matter which way you go though, because they'll both take you to the same location. This room is nothing but a large square. So I guess I'll head to the south. I think you can also run into the blood bones here in the Cavern of Ice. We haven't fought those since back in the Marsh Cavern there too. They're pretty easy to deal with. Just take them out with Fira. Okay, we're already to the staircase, so let's go on down to the third basement level of the Cavern of Ice, but we're just going to take 2 steps and go back upstairs to basement level number 2. Now there's actually some treasure available on this floor, so let's go get it. Just navigate around to the south here. We'll eventually find a chamber down here. Well, Locke, Lena, and BB leveled up to level 31 after that battle with some more Spectres, but Cloud is actually lagging behind because he got turned to stone earlier. You know, you have to kind of feel sorry for the Light Warriors. They've been having to put up with quite a bit of change in the elements as of late. They most recently went through the blazing hot Mount Gold volcano, and now they're on the opposite end of the spectrum here in the Cavern of Ice, having to put up with this bone-chilling cold. But I guess when you're saviors of the world, little things like extreme temperature change don't bother you too much. Well, let's go on up inside this chamber here to go find some treasure. Now be careful. See those cracks on the floor? If you step on one of those cracks prematurely, you'll fall down to the floor down below. Now we don't want to do that just yet. We want to navigate around those so we can go get two of these treasure chests here. See that shining pyramid in the middle? Well, that's actually the lava stone, but we can't get it quite yet. But let's go ahead and get this treasure chest up here first. Just watch out for that crack. And we'll open up this chest from the right side only. Oh, good. To get a preemptive strike against these dark wizards here, a brand new monster, and these are pretty deadly, especially if they get an ambush on your party, because the dark wizards can cast some nasty high-level black magic on your party. They can cast the frigid spell, I believe, but they can also cast the Scourge spell, which can instantly KO your party. I've had a dark wizard use the Scourge spell and KO all 4 party members to wipe them out, so they're pretty nasty. Fortunately though, I'm just going to take them out pretty quickly because I got a preemptive strike. Usually when they get the ambush on your party is when they cause a lot of problems. So I'm going to have Vivi use Faraga on them. Give them a taste of their own medicine there. They only have 105 HP, so they're pretty easy to one-shot kill. And there we go. We get 821 experience points and 3,285 gil. And there's Cloud finally going to level up to level 31. So we had to risk life and limb to open up this treasure chest. Hope it's a good one. Nope, afraid not. It's nothing but a worthless pair of clothes. Now why would a strong enemy like the Dark Wizard be interested in guarding a pair of clothes is what I want to know. That's a bummer. Oh great, here's another new monster you can fight here that's pretty deadly, the Mind Flayer. Now the Mind Flayer's physical attacks can instantly KO a character. This is another monster you're going to have to watch out for. In addition to that, they can use an ability called Mind Blast, which I believe can paralyze your party members plus inflict the sap status ailment. So these are potentially deadly monsters here. Looks like they only have 112 HP, so they're pretty low in HP, thankfully. Let's have Vivi use Faraga on them too. There's the Mind Blast ability, and fortunately it misses. Hopefully this one will too. Well, actually it paralyzed both Cloud and Locke there, but I would much rather them be paralyzed than instantly KO'd. And there we go, 411 experience, 1998 gil. Let's go ahead and check these new entries in the bestiary here while we're at it. The Mind Flayer is number 70 in your list, and ironically enough it will drop a Phoenix down as a treasure. That's probably a red flag right there that it can instantly KO you. And the Dark Wizards we just fought earlier are at number 74. Its treasure drop is a red curtain, which I believe is an item that works just like the Null Blaze spell. Okay, let's navigate around here and go get this second treasure chest. Hopefully this treasure chest up here will have something a little bit better inside. And actually it does. It contains a flame sword, and that would be a good sword to equip on Cloud. Now if you equip the flame sword, it will take his attack and accuracy down a little bit, but the flame sword is actually effective against some of the ice monsters in here. I think I'll go ahead and keep the ice brand on for now, but keep the flame sword in my inventory to equip in case I want to use it against some of the ice type monsters in here. Alright, so we've gotten these two chests, but we're going to have no choice but to fall down on the floor below, so let's go ahead and pick a crack here. Step on a crack, break your mother's back, and we did that, and we've fallen down to the third basement floor down below. Now the step immediately ahead of us here is going to be a forced encounter with some undead, so I'm going to take care of this real quick. Wraiths, specters, and ghasts. Oh my! Yeah, that was quite a haul of undead to take care of there, but nothing to it really. Alright, let's go pick up some more treasure, and just like back in Mount Gulg Volcano, here in the Ice Cavern, we'll find some damage floors here, but this time you'll just be taking ice damage as opposed to fire damage. Alright, let's go inside this chamber to find 2 new treasures, but the first treasure chest is guarded by another rather difficult enemy, the White Dragon. And the White Dragons can cast the Ice Storm spell, which can do a lot of ice damage to all 4 of your characters. Now, Cloud actually has the Flame Mail and the Flame Shield equipped, which will help mitigate some of that ice damage, but Lachlan and Vivi would probably be more prone to taking more damage. They can also attack pretty quickly, so pretty good chance that they'll get their attacks in first. I guess to help things out a bit, you can try casting the Null Frost spell. Otherwise, Farag is a good choice against them. And here we go, there's the Ice Storm spell. Ouch. Looks like Locke takes the most there. Wow. And Vivi is already in the yellow with only 11 HP left. And interestingly enough, Cloud does a lot of damage with his Ice Brand equipped. It's just that good of a sword. Well, we get 850 experience points and 4,000 gil for winning that battle, and we get yet another new entry in the bestiary. And there's the White Dragon right there at number 68 in the list. Probably a good idea for me to go ahead and have Lena cast the Kiraga spell on both Locke and Vivi there. Man. Well, it's a good treasure though. Inside we will find some ice armor. Very good. We'll hold on to that. Let's go ahead and also pick up a pair of mithril gloves in the second treasure chest there. Alright, I'm going to have to fight some more white dragons again. Let me take care of that real quick. Well, I probably should have cured Lena up there too. Fortunately, that was only one white dragon and it only used a physical attack against Lena, so she did not fall. Alright, so there's actually another chamber down below that houses a lot more treasure. So let's speed things up a little bit and use the B button dash, since we're starting to run a little cramped on time here. Alright, let's see. Yeah, let's keep zooming to the south. And I got ambushed by some mind flayers, only 2 of them. Fortunately, they did not KO any of my characters with their physical attacks. Alright, let's veer off to the left. And here is that chamber I was alluding to. Be careful, dark wizards also can stalk you on this floor. Fortunately, I got another preemptive strike against them. Alright, inside this room we will find 6 treasures. First treasure chest contains a lot of gil, 7,900 gil. How about some more gil to pocket? 5,454 gil. Now this next treasure is guarded by another new enemy, the Winter Wolf. I think they can also use the Ice Storm spell, just not quite as effectively as the White Dragons. Let's go ahead and put up some Null Frost, and Kiraga's again a good choice. Looks like they're all choosing to use physical attacks, which is just fine by me, since they don't do too much damage, and Faraga burns them to a crisp. Let's check their entry out in the bestiary. The Winter Wolf can be found at number 69 in the bestiary, and they'll occasionally drop an ice shield, only 92 HP. Alright, let's continue our treasure picking duties here. There's more gil, 180. Now let's get the bottom row. Wow, 12,350 gil. I'm quickly replenishing all the gil I spent on all those magic spells back in Crescent Lake. There's 5,000 gil and wow, 9,900 gil. So I'm already up to nearly 150,000 gil again. Well, I was just actually looking through my notes while fighting those specters, and there's actually 2 more monsters I'd like to fight on this floor to add to the bestiary. Even though we can find them a little bit later, might as well get them out of the way. So hopefully I'll run into at least one of them here. Nope, that was just a battle with 6 blood bones, but Lena, Locke, and Vivi did level up to level 32 after their defeat. Alright, there's the staircase, but before we go up the staircase, let me just go ahead and hunt down these 2 monsters, and once I find them, I'll demonstrate those battles for you. Well, as luck would have it, this Ice Gigas, one of the monsters I was looking for, appeared with 2 Winter Wolves right away. First battle, so that's always a good thing. The Ice Gigas is, of course, weak to fire, has 336 HP, and actually one thing I did forget to mention in an earlier episode, actually when we found the Great Sword way back in Mount Gold Volcano, I forgot to mention that it is a sword effective against giants, so if you want to equip the Great Sword to fight it, that may be a good choice, or the Flame Sword would be another good choice, but Cloud's actually been doing a pretty good job with his Ice Brand, so I might as well just keep it equipped. And we can have Vivi use the Faraga spell. So let's go ahead and nuke these monsters and win this battle. And going to get 639 experience and a little over 2,000 gil. Alright, one more monster I want to find, so let me hunt for it, and once I find it, I'll show you that battle too. And here is the other new monster you can fight here in the Cavern of Ice, here on the 3rd basement floor, the Remoraz, another centipede type monster, which has 320 HP, so I guess we'll just go ahead and take this out real quick. Guess I can have Vivi try to use his new Thundaga spell on it. But actually, Cloud's going to do the job once again with his Ice Brand, and 561 experience and a grand and gil for defeating the Remoraz. Alright, we've got a couple of new entries to take a look at in the bestiary. Number 71 is the entry for the Ice Gigas, and the Remoraz can be found at entry number 73. Now, once again, don't feel compelled to spend time looking for these 2 monsters here on the 3rd basement floor of the Cavern of Ice. You can get both of those a little bit later in the game. I just thought I'd go ahead and get those out of the way. So let's go on up the stairs, back up to the 1st basement floor. More treasure to get. More cockatrice birds and more mummies to fight. Fortunately, did not get petrified that time. Inside this treasure chest, we will pick up a much needed ether, and I actually just used a couple of those to replenish Lena and Vivi's MP not too long ago, so it's good to get that ether back in my inventory. And here's another chamber. Inside we'll find another treasure chest, which contains more cash. There's an extra 10,000 gil to put in your pocket right there. Very nice. And still yet more treasure to find in a chamber off to the east, so let's head that way. And there it is. Now be careful, if you go straight up you'll see a crack on the floor there. You don't want to step on that crack just yet. Let's go ahead and get the treasures first. This first treasure chest contains yet more gil. There's 9,500 gil. Second treasure chest contains a sleeping bag. And the third treasure chest contains an ice shield, so some good loot available in here. Alright, well, let's go ahead and step on the crack here and fall down below, back onto the 2nd basement floor, right next to the Leva Stone. But before we can get the Leva Stone, we're going to have to fight a battle with a mini-boss of sorts. This is the Evil Eye, and it can certainly give you the Evil Eye. With its nasty magic spells, it can use the Thundara spell, it can also use Hold and Silence, and it can also Gaze, I believe, which can petrify a character, and it can also use Death to KO a character, so some pretty nasty spells. Fortunately though, it only has 162 HP, so should be able to take it out in one round, nothing too difficult. And it's not even going to get the chance to attack. We take it out quickly, win 806 experience and 3,225 gil, so another good monster to fight over and over again for some good experience in gil. Now we have access to what we came here for. We obtain a brand new key item. We get the Leva Stone. Very good. And in our next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I, we'll take a look at that Leva Stone and perhaps find just exactly what we can do with it. So thank you very much for watching today's episode covering the Cavern of Ice, everyone. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you found it enjoyable. This has been Vortex, your host. Hey, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you again next time.